Hello, everybody. It's December 3rd, 2019. It's 11:30 a.m. Pacific and 2:30 p.m. Eastern, and it is time for our midday mindful moment. I am Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I am the spiritual director of Tucson New Thought, and this is the time and the place where we check in each weekday for a few minutes of mindfulness. Yes, it is. Now, some of you who've been watching that I've been online a lot today may be thinking, wait, you're still doing this even though you're doing your spiritual evolution live thing today? And the answer is yes, because it is about consistency. It is about active engagement. That's what spiritual practice, that's the benefit of spiritual practice when we are actively engaged on a consistent and regular basis. And that means practicing daily, life gets better all around. I talked about it a little bit on the first Spiritual Evolution Live today when I was with Carrymon, where we talked about the notion of we drop the pebble and it creates the ripple effect, and those ripples go out and then they actually are reflected back to us, and eventually they will dissipate. So we have to keep dropping the pebble in. We have to keep dropping the pebble in. So that's what spiritual practice is. That's why we are here, to actively engage. Whether you're watching live or on the replay, do me a favor and post a comment. Let me know that you are here. But I will, as I do always, start with my daily reminder. And it is this: you are love, you are light, you are life. Oh, ready? Here we go. You are magnificent. Yes, you are. Take the time to reflect on your magnificence, your own understanding and sense of magnificence, that feeling of magnificence that is inherent in you, and let yourself be motivated by that for the rest of the day, every day, for the rest of your life. So today, I had this thought right before, well, I was thinking, I'm going to do a random reading again today. And then I had this thought right before I started, and I went quickly and I grabbed my book, one of the books that I love, the book by Eric Butterworth, Spiritual Economics. Eric Butterworth is, there is no death in the infinite. So his transition just means that he's transcended into another expression of the same self. But Eric Butterworth is a minister in the Unity movement, which is part of New Thought. And he wrote this book, Spiritual Economics, and it is a magnificent book that encourages an attitude of gratitude, and it encourages deepening into the activity of understanding money, understanding economics, understanding these things from a spiritual perspective. Because if we teach that God is all there is, if we teach that this divine infinite source is all there is, then you know what? Money can't be separate from it. It may be a construct in our physical world, but it is a construct that is useful and should be welcomed into our experience, and both inflow and outflow. So that's what spiritual economics is all about. Anyway, he writes in this. He writes a chapter called "A New Look at Tithing," and tithing is a trigger word for a lot of people because they're like, tithing. It reminds me of like my old days at church, and they were like, "You must pay your tithe. You must pay your 10%, or you're gonna, go someplace that you would probably rather not be." But that's not the truth. When he talks about a new look at tithing, he talks about in the book the notion that yes, it is this idea that it is compulsory that we give. But why do we engage in giving? What is the purpose of engaging in giving? It is to engage in the infinite flow. The practice of giving is also the practice of receiving, because any place where we might kink that hose is a place where we are limiting our own flow and our own experience of life. So that's why giving and receiving is important. And I'm doing this, I will say, because it is Giving Tuesday, and I would love for your support, obviously. But one of the things he says here is, at the very outset, let us establish the point that tithing is an excellent practice that we strongly recommend to anyone who is seeking to change his or her life from indigence to affluence. It's a practice. It is not a requirement. There are people who refer to a law of tithing. It is not a law. It is a practice. It is a decision that we all make, and we all get to make our own personal decisions around how the method by which we engage in circulation, because that's all it's meant to do. It's meant to engage us in circulation. You know, Edwene Gaines, who is also a brilliant minister, she's a prosperity minister. She said, tithing is the prosperity principle that tends to bring up the most resistance in people. And I've come to understand that any resistance people feel toward tithing invariably comes from a fear that there will not be enough to go around. There is enough, because the infinite is infinite, and money is just a part of that infinite nature. So today, what I would really like us to focus on in the work that we do in spiritual mind treatment is to say there is enough to go around, that we are rooted as the fullness and expression of this infinite source, that it is expressing itself in myriad ways by means of money, by means of all of it, and that we welcome the flow, and that as we live in that flow, we give, we receive. It's all perfect circulation, all in perfection. So let us do that today. If you're in a place where it's comfortable and you would like to close your eyes, if it's safe for you to do so, make sure it's safe. I'm going to invite you to have that luxury and just allow yourself to take it all in by taking in a breath and releasing that breath. Allowing another breath and releasing that breath. One more time. Nice, deep, and cleansing. Right here in this moment, I relax. I relax into the secure knowledge, the definite understanding, the perfect intuitive knowing that there is only one power, one energy, one thing going on. There is only source. There is only God. There is nothing else. Nothing else can exist because God is infinite. And infinity is inclusive of everything. It can never be exclusive. The very notion of infinity is inclusive. And so there is no separation. There is only the one energy, the one power, the one source. And everything that is perceived as existing, all form, all time, all matter, all of it, is this source in expression, this source in action. It is the source in its fullest, most expansive, most magnificent unfolding. And we are that. We are this magnificent source. We are this magnificent flow. We are the source expressed right here and right now. We are the good. I live in this knowledge. I trust in this. I allow this perfect idea to take hold in my mind, that there is no separation. I identify myself as this source right here, right now. I recognize the identity of all with whom I have association, that each and every one of us is this source. I live in the fullness of this understanding. And I know that as I do so, I welcome and accept the flow of good. I welcome and accept the flow of the infinite. I welcome and accept the flow of abundance. And I know that as I receive, I keep it in pure, perfect circulation as As I receive, I give. As I give, I receive. I live in this flow. I know that this flow is a blessed, blessed experience and expression. I root myself in the secure knowledge that I am in the practice of giving, and I am in the practice of receiving, and I do so fully, for I know that as the infinite expresses in all things, as all things, there is always more. There is always more. There is always more. There is no limitation. There is only the full expression. There is goodness and there is light. And I know that this shows up in myriad ways. So the economy of my life is the source. The economy of my life is spirit. I can never outgive God. I can never take away from anyone anything. And so I know that each and every one of us is living in this pure, perfect, full flow. I relax into gratitude for this understanding. I relax into gratitude for this knowledge. I relax into gratitude, knowing that gratitude, that feeling of thankfulness upwells, it overflows, and I trust and know that it is the perfect fuel in that creative engine. And my life shows up according to my desire, according to my requirement, right here, right now. In that I have spoken this word, I know that it is so, and I simply relax into its perfect unfoldment. I let it be so. I release, let go, let fly, and breathe, knowing in this moment, all is well, and all is unfolding as the magnificence of this infinite power. I release, let go, allow, and trust it to be so, as together we say, and so it is. Sometimes it's nice to just take that quiet little moment, to let the feeling root in. One of the things we talk about and we train in is that ultimately what is important in the work of spiritual mind treatment and the work of affirmative prayer is allowing ourselves to move to that place of feeling, because it is in feeling that we really activate this law. It's beyond the intellect, and that's what's really important. It's not just an intellectual practice to say the right words. It is not an intellectual practice to think the right thoughts. Ultimately, it comes down to what is the feeling? What is the feeling? So I trust that made you feel enlightened, alive, alight. I trust. It certainly did for me. It certainly did for me. Well, I'm grateful that you've chosen to be with me today for these few minutes and to engage your spiritual practice. Do, as always, keep an eye out for more opportunities for your midday mindful moment. If you haven't already, I would love for you to react to this video. Push that little heart button. It's my favorite button because I love to spread the love. Push the like button. Push whatever button you feel is appropriate for you at this time. And also throw up a comment. Did I already say that? Comment. Let me know that you are here. Let me know that you were here. And share this video so that we can spread the good and magnify our mindfulness practice. Continuing meditation, we have meditation here at Tucson New Thought at 6 p.m. every single Wednesday. That's 6 p.m. Tucson time. We do webcast our meditations now on our Wednesday meditation group page. You can find that on Facebook here. I'm going to put this little guy up. Wait, are we? Yeah, that's the one I want. Check out Facebook, check out Instagram, check out our website, TucsonNewThought.org for all the latest and greatest that is happening. But we webcast our Wednesday meditation 6 p.m. Arizona time. So do the math if you're not in this particular time zone. Also, we do have our Sunday gatherings, 2 gatherings every Sunday, a 9 a.m. contemplative experience and our 10:30 a.m. celebration gathering right here. Those are also on Facebook. So you know what? There's so many ways. You can always engage on Facebook. And I'm so grateful to have a beautiful, beautiful community on Facebook that joins in. Also, as a reminder, we have our book launch, the book launch gala, December 10th. That is at Unity of Tucson. The doors open at 5:30. My book is going to be launched there. Our beautiful musician, Christy Andrews, and her partner, writing partner, Rick Chavez, have written a book, and also the minister at Unity of Tucson, Reverend Eliza Bloom Robinson, has her book. So 3 books, 4 authors, awesome experience, entertainment, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be back in just a few minutes with a continuation of today's activities, our virtual experience that I'm going to just pull up I'm going to pull up the title card real quick. The sound's going to go out, so don't be surprised. Yes, Spiritual Evolution Live. It's probably weird that the sound went away, didn't it? Spiritual Evolution Live is a virtual event that is happening today. We've got 2 more sessions for that. One that is coming up right in about 14 minutes is the next session. And I would love for you to join me for that. Keep an eye out on Facebook, keep an eye out on Instagram, keep an eye out on all those places, all the great things that are happening here. There are so many ways to celebrate the magnificence that is you. Do please share this video. Let's expand the flow to everyone you know. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day, everyone. Namaste.